And I tell you, you guys already know it's Rock Soul Radio Show, man. It's interview time. This is how we do it, man. We're bringing you the videos. We're bringing you the shit. I tell you what, though, man, I stumbled across a band that hails out of the Lawrence, Kansas area at a show with a pretty stacked lineup. Defitted, Burn the Gates, and this band, TetraFuze. These young kids, they come on stage, and I'm actually in a meeting with the promoter up in the green room of the Bottleneck, and I hear this band start to play. I leave the meeting and said on my way down the stairs, I've got to go check this band out. This band made my ears perk up. They're the perfect mix of heavy, melodic, and you talk about a stage show that in a presence that will blow your mind. And I want you to keep in mind as we're going through this interview and we're talking to this guy, the bass player is still in high school. He hasn't even graduated high school yet. And these I think if I'm not mistaken, and we'll talk about the interview, I think the drummer's the only one old enough to buy beer. And dude, these fucking kids rock. So man, Rock Assault Radio Show, the Redneck Metal Mafia, man. Introduce yourself, TetraFuze. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, man? My name's Landon. I'm the singer and rhythm guitar player. Yeah, I mean, thanks for the kind words, man. It's definitely been fun.
Dude, you guys, and we're going to get into this interview. We're going to find out a little bit about you guys, man, and we're going to introduce you guys to the world of metal, and we're going to put you out there with the big guys, because I believe that this band has a really solid future moving forward in our region and beyond, because of the way that you guys compose your music. And the first question that I want to ask you, Landon, in representation of TetraFuze is, being that you guys are all so young, man, tell me what things you went through to form this band, as far as getting the members, knowing the guys, and this, that, and everything. How did TetraFuze come about?
Oh, man. It was kind of a weird way to happen. So basically, when I started my freshman year of college, I started picking up the guitar a little bit more and more. And our other guitar player, Kalon, I've known him since I was like 6 or 7, and I just hit him up. I was like, hey, man, I kind of want to jam a little bit, and went over to his house where we met our first bass player, Travis. He had been playing bass for about, 2 weeks, so still pretty new, and I just had the idea of like, hey, like, let's just like write some music and make an album. Like, who cares if anybody listens to it? We'll make it and we'll say we're proud of it. And then our first drummer, Tyler, we just knew him from another school, and yeah, it was just kind of the perfect amount of luck, I guess. So I was like, we all just graduated high school, and I mean, now obviously, the drummer and the bassist, they left and did their own thing, and we're still all really good friends, but I mean, the new members, they're just as good, and it's definitely been an interesting kind of twist to the band to kind of hear our sound slightly change from that, but it's yeah, it's all good.
You guys do a really good job of balancing that. I mean, look, the one thing that you can tell when you watch you guys play is that you can tell that you're young, age-wise, because of the energy that you guys have on stage. I mean, you guys tear that stage up like only people with a young testosterone level could. You guys are doing shit that if guys my age were doing, we would throw our backs out, dude. So you guys put on a hell of a show. And what blew my mind was the song composition is wise beyond you guys' years, man. Tell me about some of your musical influences throughout the band and what you guys have kind of studied along the way to derive to the sound that you're at now. Because I think that's a real interesting thing. I usually don't ask that question, but as young as you guys are, I want to know, some of your influences and how it contributes, because there's a lot of different influences in that band.
Yeah, the influences were definitely kind of all over the place. Me personally, I'm like a huge heavy metal guy. I've grown up, started off with like Metallica, just like the classic thrash metal bands. And then kind of as I was going through high school, I found the new metal era, Slipknot and Korn and Mudvayne, like those type of bands. And System of a Down, like they were especially huge that first album for me, anyways. Kalon, he came from like a alternative type side, like the Arctic Monkeys, Muse, like those are bands that he listens to this day, like almost every day. And so like those kind of I feel like complement each other, especially with like a lot of the heaviness comes from the metal side, and a lot of the melody and stuff kind of gets a alternative twist to it. Um, and then like our first drummer when we were writing the first two albums, he's a very progressive type musician. you know um, he likes a lot of like jazz and like odd time signatures and stuff, and given we didn't really know how to write much in odd time signatures back then because we were so new to music as a whole, it was definitely kind of being able to listen to some of the stuff that he would show us and be like, yeah, like this stuff is possible. Start thinking about this when you're writing, and it's like, oh, that's really cool. And oh, and Travis, he basically was like that hard rock guy that like Godsmack, 3 Days Grace, that kind of where you can still kind of hear like some heaviness, but it's very commercialized type. uh I, you kind of get what I'm trying to say, or with
Right.
that kind of band.
And so now, but fast forward to the new guys, because you got a new drummer, a new bass player. I'm kind of curious to their influences, because that rhythm section for the distance and age is tight as fuck. I mean, it really truly is. Those two work very well together. And that kid with his bass, dude, is almost magical in the way that he delivers his message through that guitar. What's some of his influences? I mean, because at
Okay.
his age, dude, most kids are listening to Justin fucking Bieber, and this kid's down there thrashing, you know?
Yeah, his name is Robbie, man. He's a cool dude. You know, I he's kind of all over the place with his like musical taste. Uh a lot of like kind of rap ish music. When it comes to like his rhythm, that's probably where he developed all that. But in terms of like influences with the heavier side of things, he listens to a lot of the same music that I used to listen to. So like a lot of Korn. Like I know Korn is probably his favorite like metal band. He talks to me about like Fieldy's bass and Fieldy, like all of Fieldy's equipment and how that's like his dream setup. So I mean, he's a really cool dude to be around.
He is. And it just blew my mind that, he's out there hanging out with some of the heaviest hitters in the area, and burn the gates, and able to conduct himself off the stage, and get that respect from guys like that, and that means a lot to us to be able to say that to you, man, because it does take a lot, especially in the scene nowadays. And this show was right on the heels of the shutdown, man. So it was one of the last live shows that was out there, and I was able to catch you guys, meet up with you guys, kind of chat a little bit, and leave with an EP that actually Metal Mike, after I ripped it to rotation, Metal Mike confiscated it from me, and it's in his CD player right now. I was like, he's stuck on it.
That's awesome.
So we're really excited for the new stuff, and so so now we've kind of got a feel of where you guys are from, and how all this came about. Tell us about present day stuff, man. You guys have been together for how long now?
Well, TetraFuze as a whole has been since summer of 2018. Yeah, and the new lineup was about fall of 2019. So I mean, it hasn't been too long, but I mean, what is that? 2 years ish. right
And
now.
in that 2 years, how many shows have you guys played live?
Oh man, um, quite a bit. I mean, we're not like it was kind of hard to get started. Um, so we went like the first half a year without even booking a show. But once we kind of got our name out there and we started developing a live show, it was like a play, I don't know, once or twice a week for as long as we could. But I couldn't give you a solid number on that.
But it's fair to say that you guys have been kicking a lot in that 2 years. Like you guys are actually working the scene. I mean, you're not just writing music and putting out records. You guys are actually going out and supporting it and putting it in front of people live, which is what it takes. You know what I mean? And so you guys have a really good direction as far as that's concerned. But present day, so you guys have an EP out, an older one, and you got some new stuff coming out, right?
Yeah, we have two like full length albums out, and we just ended up releasing a like EP. It isn't like I don't know. It's kind of weird because it was very spontaneous to kind of release that because all it is like a few demos, and we're like, well, we can't really play live. We don't know when we're gonna be able to play again. So like, here's just some stuff that we've been working on for the past, ever since the second album came out. Um, that we really like up to this point. So and so far, the people who do listen to us on a normal basis, they absolutely love almost everything we've put out so far, and that's some of their favorite stuff. So that's really good to hear.
I mean, it is, and there's a lot of truth in that statement. And you guys will, I'll put the links to the music below in this, so everybody will be able to, because this is going to obviously be on the YouTube too. But for you guys to catch our attention, man, at this level and want to get to know you guys, man, and work with you guys, and there's a lot of truth to what you just said. And, it's good to see that there's hope for the genre as far as age is concerned. There's still younger generation kids out writing good music and playing great shows and having a good time with it. And Landon, I want to tell you, man, it's not very often that I run across a band of guys as young as you that are conduct yourself as professional as you guys do. And I want to congratulate you on that, because you guys did conduct yourself as a business, as a band of brothers, and you guys interacted with everybody in the club, everybody in the venue, and you did so well. So kudos to you guys for that, man, knowing how to handle that success. TetraFuze is the one thing that I like about it is every track it has a different feel. You can tell it came from a different place, but it still walks that line of edge between grungy almost and just fucking all out thrash. And you guys walk that line. Tell me about the writing process with all the different influences in there. How do you guys come up with a song that everybody can agree on? Because you got to give me some dirt here, man. There's got to be some arguments sometimes. One of you guys have to look at each other and say, that fucking sucked.
Yeah. I would say the first album came pretty naturally. So it was just like, I had a bunch of stuff that I had, kind of set aside that I really didn't know if I was going to do anything with. And, I brought it to the other guys, and, for the most part, it was a pretty smooth sailing thing, but, we were still pretty new to each other. So by the time the second album came, it was like, all right, let's sit down and write some more music. It was like, I was a little bit more tension building. It was like, I'd come up with a riff, or this person would come up with a riff, or something would happen, and it's be like, well, I think it would sound better, if we did this, or like no, that sounds bad, just trash it all. It's like, it was a long and honestly grueling process to write that second one. It was bad.
I mean, you got to go through it at some point, but what those situations do is build the solidarity within the band, the trust for each other, and the respect for each other as individual musicians. And I believe that you guys have accomplished that goal. Um, I think it's a really good idea that you guys are releasing stuff to stay relevant, especially as many shows as you guys have played. You don't want to be yesterday's news when it opens back up because, like you said, you really don't know when you're going to be playing again, right? So the fact that you guys have material in the chute and are able to stay relevant is going to definitely help you guys, especially in the area that you reside in. You know what I mean? Where things get stale real quick.
Right.
I don't see that happening for TetraFuze. I see you guys headlining your own shows here real soon. And, because you guys are putting in the work and doing the due diligence behind the project. And that's what it takes, man. And I'm really proud of you guys, man. And I'm glad that we can finally connect and let the world get to know you guys, man, because I feel that passionate about it. And I just can't say enough good stuff about you guys. I don't really have any negative critique of anything that I've heard or seen yet. You know what I mean? You guys do a great job on stage. And that to me is, I can listen to the EP or the album all day long and I can like it, it can move me or whatever. But if I see you live and you back that up, that's when I'm like, oh shit, we got to get these guys on the air. You know what I mean? We got to get these
Yeah.
guys FaceTime. And
Thank you for the kind words, man. I mean, the whole live, like, our whole thing with the live show is like, I go into a live show like I don't want to be able to move tomorrow morning. I just want to bring that much energy, and I know the other guys feel the exact same. And it's just like it's just kind of a thing ever since TetraFuze started. It was like, how can we improve our live show and just keep building upon what we've already done? And I'm glad that we can reciprocate that successfully, man. Thank you.
I mean, it does, it takes a lot of work, especially as new as you guys are to it, you know what I mean? And it's only going to get better. And that's the greatest thing is, we're kind of introducing TetraFuze at the ground level per se, you know? Tell me about the future of this band through your eyes, because this was kind of your idea to start with. And I'm not by any means saying that you're the sole owner of TetraFuze, but I'm saying that it was birthed from your idea. This is your brainchild. And so most guys are going to ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? To me, that's hogwash. That leaves it open for you to make up any kind of excuse that you want, and probably the same cliche bullshit as, oh, I want a record deal and I want to be on tour. Everybody fucking wants that. So I'm going to shorten that for you, all right? I'm going to ask you this. Where do you see yourself and TetraFuze 1 year from today?
1 year from today, I'm hoping that we'll have the entirety of the third album, recorded, hopefully already mixed, mastered, and like just waiting for the release. Um, Probably regionally playing shows. Not, I wouldn't really say we'd be touring because, school and all that. Our bassist is obviously still in high school. So it's like, around this time of year, probably some finals for me, who's still in college. He'd be still doing his stuff. So probably gearing up for a busy summer of trying to play as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, that's really all we could ask for, just try to play as much as we can for next, or not this next summer, but a year from now. And just hopefully it all comes together.
So it's fair to say that the future of this band, you guys are a live band. You guys want to be out playing live. You don't want to be stuck in a rehearsal space and in a studio all the time. You want to hurry up and bang that shit out and get to a stage as soon as possible.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like the live shows, that's my favorite part about it. It's, I mean, going to the studio or like recording, it's kind of cool to see some ideas, start with like this little tiny inspiration and blossom into whatever we, compose. But just the live shows, it's really, I'm missing it already with this whole like quarantine stuff. It's like, I want to get that adrenaline rush of, stepping out onto a stage and, just going at it for 30 to 45 minutes. It's just, it's my favorite part of being, a musician personally.
don't ever lose that, man, because that's what I really wanted people to gain out of this. And you pretty much summed up the whole thing in that one sentence, man. And I want everybody to understand that, you know, the reason why this band is going to be as successful as they are is because of that mentality. You know, they have that passion. They're hungry. They fight for their space. They don't ask for respect. They fucking demand it when they come on that stage. And they're not going to let you leave there thinking, oh, these are some punk kids. And when they come on the stage and you see them and you're like, fuck, man, I got kids that age. And they're standing right beside me and they just bought a T-shirt from the headlining band. As soon as you walk away to go to the picture, they start playing. And they're going to make you turn around and go back to that stage, man. And that's what I love the most about the TetraFuze experience, is to be able to watch you guys on stage, meet you guys before the show and talk to you guys, and then watch you guys on stage, man. It's like all of you truly flip a switch when you step on that stage. And it's crazy. Like each one of you, you're your own individual rock star for that 45 fucking minutes. And it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, man. That switch, as soon as basically that intro music starts, you know, we usually have like an intro while we walk out or do something to try to make a more cinematic experience. But as soon as, you know, we hear that and it's like, okay, it's time, you know, we're just like completely different people. And, you know, that's part of the fun, you know, getting to play a character that's, you know, a kind of alter ego in your head. But,
right. And then go greet the fans and have a good time. And you guys made some new friends there that night I seen. And so, you know, that's cool, man. Look for some of these other bands to be gravitating to you guys to come and play with them and soak all that in, man, and really take this thing for what it's worth, man. And, you know, just ride this fucking thing till the wheels fall off, brother.
that's our plan right now anyway.
You guys got so tell me about the new stuff that we're gonna put out there, man. What are the track titles?
The track titles from the brand new release.
Yeah.
It's WCI, Not Enough, and RIP. RIP is, you know, pretty obvious. WCI, actually, that was more of a working title that was just like, yeah, we'll keep it. Honestly, random. But and then Not Enough, it's more of an acoustic type thing that that was pretty much right after the original lineup kind of split, and we didn't quite know what to do yet. You know, I just kind of sat down with an acoustic guitar and, you know, wrote what I was feeling and what was going on in my life and all that. So that one actually came out pretty good when all the other instruments basically came into the mix. And then the other ones were just kind of a mix of some heavier influences at the time and a little bit of ambient stuff. And that's kind of what we're going for with our next project is, you know, we want to really start to play around with kind of an ambient feeling and see how we can mix ambience with heavy and also, you know, keep our sense of melody at the same time and just try to get that balancing act and make it a true kind of a project where, you know, you started at the beginning and you're like, okay, you know, I feel this way. And then by the time you finish it, you're like, wow, you know, that's something I feel completely different now, like about this project anyways. If we can try to accomplish that, I feel like it'll be a successful release.
I mean, that's a good goal to have, and it's very realistic, and it's also something that quite frankly, between me and you and everybody that's listening, it's pretty ballsy. And if you can pull it off, then good, because no one else is doing it. I mean, you know, it's, but if there's anybody that can, it's going to be you guys. And I'm anxious to see, you know, a year from today where this thing's at, because I will come to you and I'll say, hey, Landon, remember that conversation we had a year ago? You know, I would, you know, you're Redneck Metal Mafia now, baby. I'm going to hold you accountable for what you say.
All right.
You know, we can only blow off interviews with each other so long before we catch up to each other. Jesus. Well, you know, we are running out of time on this thing, man. I want you to take this time to pimp everything, dude. Your social media, your website, where they can go get your music and all that good stuff, man. It's your show, brother. Let them know.
All right, yeah. We do have like some merchandise available at TetraFuze.com. It's TetraFuze with a Z. A lot of people misspell that. We do have a Facebook page, an Instagram page. If you feel like following us, we greatly appreciate it. And I mean, yeah. Oh, and our music's on pretty much any streaming platform you can imagine. I mean, yeah. I have yet to find somebody who can't find us on whatever they use. So.
Okay, good. And that's good. That's all good to know. So what I'll tell you now, man, is on behalf of Rock Assault Radio Show and the Redneck Metal Mafia, man, TetraFuze, welcome to the family. And anything that you guys ever need from us, brother, don't hesitate to reach out. You got my number, man. Use it, and I'll do the same. Let's help each other out, man. Let's work together, and let's see where this thing goes. All right.
All right, cool, man. Thank you.
No problem, brother. Hey, thanks for joining us, man. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you again.
No problem, man.